We're joined by UMD baseball coach Bob Rients, here to preview the 2014 season. Why don't we start out talking about, you've got 4 seniors this year, captains Max Ryan, Kellen McCoshin, and a couple others. Why don't you go ahead and just tell us what you think the senior class brings from a leadership aspect and on the field.
Obviously, you get to this point in time in their careers, having played here for 3 years, that has to be a strong point, and understanding the expectations that the program has is something that we're going to rely upon and that they can bring to the table, and really, I think, mentoring the young team that we're going to be again this year in between the lines and on a daily basis that we're excited about. Each guy, obviously, is going to have a slightly different role than another, and so I think those seniors are going to be able to provide some comfort to the whole team as we move through the season. Kellen McCoshin, local Superior native, going to be in the regular lineup there, starting the year in the outfield. Left-handed bat. Max Ryan is going to move into a situation where he's going to be in the outfield, but now as a senior earns some time on the mound where we're extremely excited about. He's a guy that we feel very confident in his ability to compete no matter what the role is within our team, and so I think moving forward as a senior, he's going to be very excited about getting the baseball in his hand a little bit more often than just being an outfielder. And Cody Ozen has joined us again, and 2 years ago he was one of our top offensive guys, and so looking at the way our offensive line I think is going to play out, he's going to be a big role in that. To be able to, I think, take some pressure off of the younger hitters that we had that succeeded the second half of the year last year. And then Chris Couillard, has ability as a senior to have an impact on the mound, which we're really needing some guys to step up. And I feel as though that he's got the experience and he's got a skill set that will be an asset to us.
Should be a good group, sounds like to me. Offensively, obviously, you do. Your team really kind of came along once you hit the NSIC season, and particularly Alex Wojciechowski. He'll be coming back for his second year after being NSIC Freshman of the Year, Player of the Year. What else do we have to be excited about offensively?
I think we're going to be stronger, throughout our lineup. I think it's a situation where Wojo, he doesn't need to feel the pressure, I think, as far as being the catalyst for the offensive lineup. I think there's multiple guys now that have experienced success, in the second half of last year that they're going to be able to step in and get some good things done. And so I think the lineup is going to be a little bit more power-based, I think, than what we've had in the past. And so there's an opportunity for a few guys to step in the batter's box and change the complexion of the game with one swing. And so that's exciting. And I think the whole team understands that, and it really is going to be, I think, something that we can feed off as the season progresses.
Should be good. It'd be fun to see some of the balls flying out. Anyways, pitching wise, from what I see on the stats, we got a few guys coming. You touched on Ryan's going to be stepping in the mound, but you got John Meyer was ranked in the Northwoods League prospects, top prospects last fall. Bo Helquist coming back, Kyle Fritz, a couple guys that stood out to me anyways. What should we be expecting on the mound this year? That
would probably be the main spot that we probably lost a lot of innings or experience, I think, from last year's team. Jordan Smith and Adam Zwak were our top 2 starters, and so that's a situation we're looking for guys to step in. You listed a guy like Bo Helquist having experience last year. We anticipate him having the opportunity to step in, being possibly our frontline starter, number 1 starter at the front end of the year, and so we're excited about his advancement as a pitcher and how we feel as though that he's going to match up with other teams' number 1 pitchers. And then Kyle Fritz, definitely had the experience from last year. We have a transfer in West Molesvia that we feel has already shown us that he's going to be able to get some quality outs for us, on the mound, and so he's going to be under consideration for one of our top-end starters. Ryan Lakin, who is an outfielder as well, that saw some innings last year, that we feel as though that's going to be able to step in and give us, I think, some strong innings at the front end of the year. And then, a lot of stuff is going to play out, in Florida. A lot of guys are going to get opportunities when we play a lot of games in a short period of time, and so it's going to be how those guys perform with those early opportunities to kind of set up our conference rotation, from that point moving forward.
Last year you got a lot of lot of at-bats, a lot of experience out of a pretty big group of first-year players.
Yeah.
You're turning it again, you got 11 first-year players by my count.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that really stands out or that you see really stepping in right away for this team, or how does this year's team shake out?
Yeah, I think this is going to be slightly different than maybe last year was, as far as we're going to be able to ease the guys in, the first-year players in a little bit more than we were last year, and not necessarily count on those guys to shoulder the load as things played out. Last year, that was something that just, I think, evolved. And so I think no matter what, who's playing, I think we're going to end up being probably the youngest team on the field again this year, no matter what opponent is and no matter what game that we play. So that's exciting, as far as what the future holds. But yet the expectation now is to succeed, based on the success that we had the second half of the year. In particular, I think our middle infield has more depth based on Brian Pierce and then Skylar Weniger. Those true freshmen, coming in. I think defensively they're able to, I think, improve the depth that we have there. Grant Farley on the mound and also in the outfield. Matt Vogt is going to have an opportunity to get some at-bats in the outfield as a true freshman. And there's a few more guys that, as they continually to advance, throughout the year, I think are going to see some playing time. But the luxury that we have this year versus last year is that they don't have to be hitting in the middle of the order, and they don't have to be one of our starting pitchers at the front end of the year. So that, I think, is going to bode well for our start.
Yeah, obviously last year you didn't get off to the start you would have wanted to down in Florida. This year, some similar opponents, a few new ones. Can you just tell us a little bit about what we're going to see when you're down at the Central Florida Invite here?
Yeah, RustMat tournament, essentially, it's pretty much like a get-together from northern teams, from not just the Midwest, but also from a Northeast coast, kind of come down there and get their season kicked off. The opponents are good. 2 years ago, Westchester was the national champion, and we have them on the schedule again this year. Wayne State out of Michigan is another opponent that has reached regional play. I think maybe the last 3 or 4 years that has always been a strong opponent for us to play early on in the year. We have some teams that I think that are new to us that we're excited to play as well. That's always something that I think the guys are intrigued about, as far as playing somebody that they have no experience against. The opponents, I think, in Florida is a good mix for us to be able to get prepared for starting the conference season off on the road, essentially against perennially some of the top teams in our conference.
Yeah, looking through the conference schedule, you are facing a few of the top teams,
Yeah.
a few of the lower teams. You actually have a pretty good mix again of some of the really good tests, and then some of the teams that weren't as effective last year. But you're gonna, obviously there will be a different dynamic.
Yeah.
So how do you see the NSIC season shaking out, and how do we improve upon where we were last year?
Yeah, ultimately, we did make some decisions, last year after our non-conference schedule, and did go with some maybe just a little bit more select group of guys having opportunities, and we did gain some momentum, I think, the second half of the year last year. How that translates into success at the conference level this year. We hope that the confidence is there, because ultimately every team in the conference has gotten a lot better, and our conference as a whole has proven to be able to compete on a national level and be there in the College World Series to be one of the final few teams. And so we know that we're going to be prepared, we're going to be tested, I think, no matter who we play in the conference. And so kind of impress upon the guys that, hey, success against specific teams, the previous year isn't a given the following year. So. And I think, kind of have the guys think about it from the mindset that you can easily take a look at our record last year and see that we weren't as successful as we would love to have been. But yet the momentum that we gained the second half, I think, kind of makes our team a lot different at the front end this year. And so, 1 year isn't a telltale sign of what's going to happen the next.
Sure. Last year we had the very odd, well, not so odd for Minnesota, but we didn't get a single home game in last year. So for you've got two classes now that'll be, hopefully, cross your fingers, experiencing their first home games here at Bulldog Park. What was that dynamic like, and how excited is the team going to be hopefully playing at home early April against Southwest.
I think the excitement is there. You know, it's on their minds to some degree, but it's a group of guys that just want an opportunity to play. I think that's the way we handled it last year. Is that you know, by and large, you know, half the roster last year was first-year players, so they didn't really know any different from that side of things. And they handled that situation extremely well. I take a look at it and say, hey, they know what the opposing team's field looks like now of just about every team that we have in the conference, and so you know, it can be a bonus. And so turning the page to this year, like you said, you know, 2 possible classes, so half the team could be experiencing the first home game at Bulldog Park, and I think that's going to allow us to be re-energized. You know, I think at the front end of the year too, you know, starting conference play, and so I think that's going to be an asset. Guys like to play at home, there's no doubt about it, but I think by and large, they just want an opportunity to play.
Well, it sure doesn't feel like baseball season out there today, but we're still about a month away, so let's hope it can get melted here in the next month or so.
It'll happen. We'll have home games this year. We definitely will make that happen somehow, some way. I think everything will fall into place that we'll be able to have a season opener here at Bulldog Park this spring.
All right. That's all I got for you, Coach. Thanks for sitting down with us, and good luck on the season.
Thank you.